Hi everyone, and welcome to Roo Hammer Warriors vs Tigers pre-season challenge review. The season is here. Before we get started though, I invite you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our streamed content. Subscribing to the channel puts you in the draw as well to win some exclusive Roo Hammer merchandise. So make sure you click that subscribe button now. Yes, mate. Well, anyway, Hammer, pre-season challenge. What did you think, mate?
Mate, yeah, it was a solid first hit up for the boys, resulting in a 48-12 win over the West Tigers. For the Warriors, there were tries to Marcelo Montoya scored 3 tries, Vili Vilea 2, Jackson Ford, Metcalf, Graham Tafua, and Vasa Valangi scored tries. Metcalf with 3 conversions, young Eden Ackland with 2 conversions, and Vili Vilea, a gem of a conversion from the sideline. Hidden talent.
Who was that? It was like Michael Witt, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. And then for the Tigers, they had 2 tries, one to Penny, one to Uta Kamanu, and Brandon Wakeham with 2 conversions. The game was played in front of a members-only crowd at Mount Smart Stadium, and like I said, overall, a pretty solid first hit out from the boys. What do you think?
Yeah, mate, very strong first up performance. So much to like about it. I mean, at the same time, without getting too carried away, obviously being the first trial match of the season. And we must say the Tigers did have like a sort of second or third string side that travelled over there. But the good thing for me was we took our opportunities and we scored some great tries, which is something we've definitely struggled with over the past couple of years. Goal line defence, a massive improvement as well, which was great to see. Mate, what really stood out for you in this performance, bearing in mind, again, as I said, it is only a trial, and we had sort of quite a young and inexperienced side out in the field ourselves.
Yeah, similar to what you just discussed there, mate. But I did listen to Andrew Webster's pre-game chat that he had with the Fox Sports Nufties, and he basically said that, you know, it's all very well to do what you're doing in the pre-season at training, but now is the time to start transferring some of that stuff that learnt and practiced on the training paddock onto the field. And I think Webby would be quite pleased with how they did that. I think they really kept to his game plan. It shows Webster, as we know, was the attack coach at the Panthers, and we were very attack oriented last night. I thought. You know, we had some great opportunities. We used the ball quite well during our sets. I thought, as you said, our defence was pretty solid, particularly on our try line, especially in the back end of that first half. And as I said, not being afraid to use the ball. Both halves, you know, heavily involved in that first 40 minutes, or first 50 minutes, you know, getting their hands on the ball, trying some things. We had an 80% completion rate, 8 line breaks. 4 of those came from Marcelo Montoya himself, 54 tackle breaks. And the big thing for me was there was only 8 errors in that game. There was also only 27 missed tackles compared to the Tigers' 54 missed tackles. So it was a pretty sound first hit out, I thought. And as he said, it's a trial. And, you know, the Tigers were heavily undermanned. We were heavily undermanned at the same time. I think, you know, there was only maybe 3 or 4 guys in our 25 that played that are probably, you know, odds on to be within that first, like that 17 in that first round 1 game come March 2nd or March 3rd. So yeah, pretty happy with it. What about yourself?
Yeah, mate, those offensive stats are great reading. And you know, when you play like that, you're going to trouble the defense and score some points, which is what we did.
Yeah,
almost a throwback to the Warriors of old. You know, the offloads and the line breaks and mate, Metcalf was unbelievable. Speed. It's just great to have speed back in the side, and speed, you know, troubles the defense as well. We haven't had a lot of that recently. Very, very encouraging signs. Like it's just great to see us scoring points again. To be perfectly honest.
Yes.
Some individual performances though that rate merit for me. Firstly, Tom Ale. He had 19 carries, 180 metres and 42 post-contact metres, 6 tackle breaks and an offload. Certainly a statement made by Tom, letting Webby know that he's ready to go if selected for round 1.
But he was outstanding. I thought he was one of the best on field. He played some very, very long minutes too. I think he played the entire first half and pretty much half of that second half before being replaced. And for me, that shows that whatever they've been doing in the off season, the boys are fit and they're ready to play. If you've got a front rower that can play 60 straight minutes, and Bunty played the opening 40 minutes as well, so we had 2 starting front rowers that went 40 minutes, which is unheard of in the modern game nowadays. I think, yeah, he has definitely stuck his hand up. He has to be selected, either starting with AFB in the front row or coming off the bench, but he's got to be in the 17. Yeah, absolutely got to be in the 17. Another standout I thought was young Tane Tuapiki at fullback. We didn't get to see him in open spaces, which was a bit of a shame because from all reports and watching his highlight reel from the Burleigh Bears last year, he does have a good set of wheels on him. But I thought he had a solid performance. He had 105 run meters. A majority of those were kick return meters. But what impressed me was his patience and his maturity. He was backing up. He was sniffing around our halves and forwards constantly. And 2 things that are key for a really good fullback in NRL is he showed he was good and confident under the high ball, and he was very solid defensively.
Yeah, he certainly was. He showed on a couple of occasions that he, as you said, was solid in defence. I think he'll definitely find his way into first grade, at some stage throughout the season through injuries or what have you. As I mentioned before, the halves pairing of Martin and Metcalf combined really well. Martin was very good as the organiser and directing the team, but Metcalf really, really got himself involved. It was great to see. He was the primary kicker as well to end the set. And he kicked for over 300 metres and he showed his pace. Clean pair of heels and footwork with a fantastic solo try.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that last year at the Sharks. He didn't get a lot of opportunity, but there was one game where I think he scored a 95-metre try at the Sharks. So we knew with him coming to the Warriors, we'll get somebody with some pace, which is something that we've really needed. All the talk during the preseason has been how Martin will partner Johnson in the halves. But on that performance alone, I think Metcalf has to be in the 17. Now, where he's in that 17, I don't know. I actually thought he outshone Tamari Martin last night with his performance. He was involved in everything, and he really looked at home at 6. The beauty of that is that both of those guys are going to put pressure on Sean Johnson to perform well. And let's not forget that we've still got Ronnie Volkman to come in, and we'll probably see Ronnie in the next game coming up. So yeah, we've got some depth in our halves, which we haven't had for a long, long time.
Yeah,
other guys, I thought Montoya was very good. He bagged 3 tries. He made Charlie Staines look like a turnstile with one of those tries. Vili Valea, also very good with a double. And they're 2 guys who have probably got a 3-quarter position locked down for round 1. You'd think that Montoya will be one wing. Dallin coming back from the All-Stars will probably be the other one. Valea's probably odds on to start at centre. The other guy I thought was really good was Brady Viliami on the left edge. He was a late pickup in the preseason for the Warriors. Yeah, he looked very good on that left edge. He ran some really good lines. He engaged his defenders well. And he used Montoya very well outside him, putting Montoya into space. When he was at the Dragons, he never really did anything to excite me at the Dragons. But his first hit out in Warriors colours was really, really impressive. And he kind of reminded me a little bit of Petahiku, the style of play that Petahiku played when he was at the Warriors. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I thought he looked good. He has a decent size about him as well. Yes. I think what was good about that edge with himself and Montoya is they're both fairly big bodies.
Yeah.
And I mean, Montoya showed it by scoring those tries. He's I think he's even upped the ante in terms of his, aggression and everything as well, based on the big palm into Charlie Staines. But
yeah,
I was really impressed. I wouldn't be surprised if he finds himself in the round 1 team in the centres.
Viliami, yeah. I think so too, because we're kind of lacking in centre options if we're to be brutally honest. We've got Rocco Berry in the wings. Dylan Walker can probably play in that position, but Yeah, I think Viliami is going to be a good pickup for us. And I was one of those guys that kind of questioned the signing of Viliami, but last night he made me eat my words. So, well done to him.
Yeah, very good. Very good game from him. A couple of other young players who have been on development contracts as well the past few seasons. They made the most of their opportunities too. Zion Mayu and Jacob Laban, both very impressive when they came on. Mayu's first touch reminiscent of the Mr. Effective himself, Paliacina.
Yep.
And Laban very busy around the middle with some good touches as well. Laban actually, in fact, topped the tackle count with a game high 33. So, yeah, really good from him.
Yeah, he was very good. There was another guy, Michael Seo, who played lock. He's a bit of a journeyman. He's been in the English Super League and played the last 5 or 6 seasons up in the Q Cup, getting an opportunity with the Warriors. And that's one of the things too, I guess, is we're seeing a lot of these guys who will be probably reserve graders for a majority of this season. But it shows that we've got some really good depth. Everyone's dialed into what Webster's kind of brought to the club and his coaching style, because they're all running good lines and running good angles. It was good for guys like Bunty Afoa, Freddie Lussick, and Ed Cozzy, and new recruit Jackson Ford to get some game time in this trial as well. They're all players who will be in the mix for the first grade squad for round 1. Like we said, mate, solid performance, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. It is just a trial, and the Tigers were well under strength. I envisage next week's trial against the Storm. We'll see a good percentage of our first grade squad getting some game time. And the Storm are always a huge test for us, whether it be regular season or trials.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It seems like forever since we last beat them. We beat them in the trial match last year. But geez, it's been a long time since we've beaten them in the regular season. But yeah, it'll be a tough challenge. But another game in New Zealand, so like you said, Ronnie Volkman and a few of the other guys that didn't get a run should get to go next week. Maybe even some of the other more regular first grade guys. So we'll see how that version of the Warriors turns up and what sort of performance they put it together.
I think they have to play next week, because you don't want them going into round 1 with no game. Even if they only play 20 minutes, like Johnson plays 20 minutes, Tohu plays 20 minutes, AFB, but they've got to get footy in hand, get out there on the field and get some actual, contact, whether it be, defensively or in attack, heading into round 1. It's going to be an interesting game next week. I think we play Sunday next week, so we've got a bit of a turnaround, a bit of a what do you call it? A wait before we play. We've got some
bit of a rest for some of the guys who will be backing up, and as you said, we can probably expect a few more of the regulars to get some game time, and but gee, hasn't it whet the appetite for the season?
Well, mate, we are undefeated. We're the only undefeated team at the moment in 2023. I think last night we got the 12 points for the win, and we also got 2 bonus points, one for scoring 5 tries and one for having 10 line breaks.
Yeah.
We missed out on the other bonus point. I can't remember what that. That's for offloads. We didn't have the offloads. So we're sitting on top of the table with 14. I'm looking now as we speak. And it's 22-10 in the Cronulla versus Newcastle game. So even on for and against, we're still going to be leading the comp after this game finishes. But yeah, mate, it was great. For everyone that's watching, don't forget this coming Wednesday, 15th of February, we'll be chatting live with One New Zealand Warriors head coach Andrew Webster. That'll be at 5:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time if you're in Queensland, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time if you're in New South Wales, and 8:30 p.m. New Zealand Standard Time if you're in New Zealand. Best way to make sure that you don't miss this one is make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and hit the notification so you'll always know when we upload a new video or going live.
That's right, mate. And if you would like to support us in what we do, you can head over to our Redbubble store and grab yourself some exclusive Roo Hammer merchandise. We've got plenty of designs honouring our past legends of the club, current stars, as well as some of the great great novelty prints reliving some memorable moments in Warriors history. So yeah, go in there, check it out. There's new designs going up there all the time. So grab yourself some original merchandise, and you're also helping us out here at Roo Hammer, and it's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, well, that's it for this video. We shall see you guys all on Wednesday night on YouTube. Take care, everyone.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
Cheers.